What's going on, guys? Got a quick shop tip for you. And I'm sure a lot of you guys may already know about this trick, but for those of you who don't, for one, probably one of the most valuable and simple tools you can have in a shop, especially for making knives and precision parts and such, is a granite surface block. And you can get these in all kinds of different sizes and tolerances, flatnesses, things like that. And some guys even just get cutoffs from countertop companies or places that cut granite. Normally they're surfaced close enough at least to do some cleanup and hand sanding on. But I think this one, I want to say it's like a 9 by 12 by 3 inches thick. Something like that I got from usa.knifemaker.com. They're probably not in stock anymore, but I think I gave maybe $35 for this shipped, which was actually an incredible deal. And you can find these at any of the machine supplies, Enco, Granger, MSC, places like that, and probably even eBay, Amazon, and those typical sites. But again, it's just a very invaluable tool, not only for what I'm about to show you, but for checking flatness of parts. You can lay your parts down, see if they got any warp in them. Normally they'll start rocking or tapping a little bit, and I probably got a little bit of a burr there, which is why that's rocking. And you can use it for other things such as height gauges that you can run on the top of these. I've even used this, which you probably shouldn't, but I've used it as kind of an anvil for setting parts down and center punching. It's a nice solid flat surface for that, and it's pretty tough. Probably not as tough as maybe hardened steel, but then again, you're going to have a hard time wearing this out. So what I like to use it for is actually kind of a hand surface grinder, which is where I stick a sheet of sandpaper down and run the part back and forth. But as you can see, the way it is now, you're not going to get anything done. So there's a couple options. I've seen guys put some tape along the edges to hold things down. You can even put, a weight there. It really doesn't take a lot, especially for the higher grits. But you could stick a weight there and get a little bit of work done. But what I actually like to do, since I'm normally wet sanding anyway, is take some Windex or even some WD-40 or really almost any kind of liquid, and just kind of mash it down there, rub it back and forth, and you get almost a nice little bond there, just enough friction or stick that you can then wet your top down. And that's really all it takes. Now sometimes this will start moving back and forth on you if your paper's kind of curled up or not as flat as it needs to be. Again, just sticking a weight on the top anywhere is usually enough to keep that from moving on you. And normally I would kind of take this through the grits. You could start pretty heavy, maybe 120, 220. Take it all the way up to 1,000 or more if you want. But this really flattens things out pretty quickly and easily. And if you start up at a higher grit, you can even see where maybe some of your high and low spots are as well. Another thing you could do is put some Dychem or some Sharpie on there. And that'll pretty quickly show you where everything is flatness wise. And what this is also good for, and really what I'm trying to accomplish now, is just deburring these holes that I just drilled. They've got a real light burr on them, just a couple quick back and forths. And that's really all it takes. Now you can see the paper's kind of curling up on me. That's just kind of how this paper gets when it's wet. That's pretty easily solved if you just got a piece of flat stock or again a couple of weights. You can use almost anything really. And I could turn this and kind of get a longer stroke on it if I wanted to. But that's really all there is to it. And as far as the sandpaper I'm using, I'll go ahead and give a recommendation. I've used several types of sheet paper, from 3M to I think Norton and several others. And this is probably the best I've used. It's called Rhino Wet Redline. Hopefully that's showing up in frame. RHYNOWET. And I think they got a couple of different grades of this. I get the red line and all kinds of different grits. It's not very expensive, but it seems like it just cuts almost forever and gives a little bit better finish than the average off-the-shelf paper you get from the big box stores or say Walmart or somewhere. So another quick tip, obviously this is curling up, probably just from wetting it. But again, that's pretty easily remedied. So, quick tip for you guys if you didn't know about it. Thanks for watching.